shoot 64 birds while they're all in close proximity and they're all watching this happen with other animals on the property. It's really traumatic. Like, the method of the killing itself is really barbaric, and what makes it worse is knowing that it was unnecessary.
Dozens of roosters set for a new home in Pierce County are instead gunned down by Yakima County deputies. The worst part, Fox 13's investigative team found out that those deputies were aware there were plans to rescue the roosters. It's a story we broke right here on Fox 13 last night.
This was supposed to be a really exciting rescue. This was going to be the biggest cockfighting rescue ever in Washington state.
Tonight, we're going deeper into the world of cockfighting.
As Fox 13's investigative team has learned, despite a ban in all 50 states, experts believe at any given time there are no less than 1,000 fighting birds here in our state.
It's really violent. People don't understand how violent it is.
It's a vicious blood sport.
The whole bird's job is to kill that other bird.
And it's outlawed in all 50 states.
I've seen it, and it's a little disturbing.
This man is one of the undercover investigators with the Washington State Gambling Commission working to break up cockfighting rings.
There's more that goes on than people actually know about.
Earlier this year, a years-long investigation came to light. Drugs, guns, attempts to kill witnesses, and at the center of it all, hundreds of roosters, part of a cockfighting ring that led to 34 arrests across the U.S. Earlier this week, we introduced you to Kate, the woman behind Heartwood Haven, the Pierce County nonprofit trying to save roosters forced into a grueling world of cockfighting.
When I hold them, or when other people hold them, what they tell me is that he's shaking. They're scared. These roosters are not human aggressive.
Few roosters are rescued in our state. Many are put down due to drugs in their systems, injuries, or perhaps the most sad case, there isn't enough space. Kate is trying to change that.
Let's see if we can fit all these.
Sadly, the fights never really stop.
We need the community's help.
It sounds like cockfighting is taking place all over the state.
It is, and all over the country. The gatherings are mainly in rural areas, but you could have people in your neighborhood that are raising fighting birds.
There's telltale signs. Typically, birds are dubbed. Take a look at this stock image of a rooster. Now, compared to a bird from a recent bust. Notice how the altered or dubbed bird for fighting is missing its comb, wattle, and parts of its earlobes. The cruel goal? To leave less skin that can be ripped or torn by an opposing bird.
These right here are considered your short knives.
As Sam Moore, founder of the Washington State Animal Fighting Task Force, shows us, these birds don't fight like this on their own. And parts of their leg bone are cut, then physical knives are attached to their feet so they can stab one another. Fighters will say they have pride in their birds, but it's rather sick how disposable they are in the end.
They have pride in the birds because the birds are their money, and that's what their pride is. They deal with a lot of pain and suffering during and after these fights. Some of them get thrown aside, and they may not be completely deceased when they get thrown aside.
Adding to the reality that even those rescued through investigations aren't rescued. As seen here, they're regularly put down. Which is why any hopeful story is a welcome sign. Though the reality is the dark underbelly of cockfighting is never far from anyone, regardless of where you live.
It's not exclusive to one area. Everybody is capable of participating in animal fighting.
From backyard novices to people who attend the fights, Sam estimates that at any given time there's hundreds of active fighting cocks in our state, including right now.
Some of the ones that have kind of come across through the task force, and easily I'm almost at 1,000.
But busts take time, energy.
That's the frustrating part, is that we have to make sure everything that we do is done correctly, and sometimes that takes a while.
Now, as for the roosters killed, we told you about last night, the sheriff has released a 9-paragraph statement in response to our reporting. Now, none of it appears to challenge the facts of our coverage, though they insist shooting and killing all those roosters was humane and chalk it up to a lack of resources. Now, as always, if you have a tip for our investigative team, email us at fox13investigates@fox.com.